Sometimes watching a romance anime feels like a gamble. Some anime may be good, but they end without any resolution. Some don't even have a season 2, which is pretty annoying. While some others even take 3 seasons just for the characters to get their first kiss. Yes, I'm talking about you, Origairu. That's why we're here today to bring you the top 10 romance anime where the characters actually get married at the end. So put that gambling addiction down for a sec, and let's explore things that are certain. Starting this list, our number 10 happily ever after is Please Teacher. It's not rare for students and teachers to develop some feelings towards each other, but not many can make their love bloom. That's why this anime is special. Kai Kusanagi is a high schooler who has a secret disease that probably would mess with the law. Because he's actually 18 years old, but his disorder left him in a coma for 3 years, technically making him 15 years old, meaning he has to lie to access certain websites, if you know what I mean. One day, he walks around and sees a woman that's strangely glowing by the lake. To his surprise, the woman is actually an alien sent by the Galaxy Federation. Her name is Kazami Mizuho, and apparently, she's also the new homeroom teacher for Kai's school. The two start to talk, joke around, share experiences, and even flirt with each other. I wonder if the FBI is onto her, cause a high schooler is a high schooler. As they both learn more and gain a deep connection with each other, they decide to date. However, the school principal finds out about their relationship, and you know it's not gonna end well. So Kai and Kazami get married, but they have to keep it a secret from everyone in class and even the Galaxy Federation. Despite the controversial theme, it's still a decent age gap romance anime with some pretty good drama, though I wonder what would happen if the roles are reversed. Oh yeah, we don't talk about that here. At number 9, we have the timeless romance of Mysterious Play. Miyaka Yuki is reading this mysterious book called The Universe of the Four Gods, when all of a sudden the book sucks her, transporting her into its world. She finds herself in what seems like ancient Chinese place Conan, where she is chosen as the priestess of Sairu. She is one of the only 4 priestesses with a holy duty of saving the kingdom. She is joined by this hot Gigachad named Tamahome, whom she eventually falls head over heels for. However, Tamahome rejects her once before giving it a second thought. The relationship between the two transcends beyond those borders that defy even the laws of physics. Because Tamahome can actually sense Miyaka whenever she calls for him, like Professor X, except he's not in a wheelchair. The problem is, though, the god that they're serving named Suzaku doesn't approve, eventually separating the two as Miyaka comes back to her own world. Even with all the challenges that try to separate them, Tamahome will always somehow work it out as he loves her so much. He even says it himself that his 2 favorite things are money and Miyaka. Next up at number 8 is We'd Never Learn. Noriyuki Yuiga is a really smart kid, acting every subject in schoolrooms like he's the descendant of Albert Einstein. Problem is, his family's broke. Meanwhile, he wants to go to college, and in order to get the scholarship that he wants, he has to become a tutor of these 3 geniuses who are apparently in the same school as him. They are Rizu Ogata, a math genius who wants to study humanities, Fumino Furuhashi, a literature nerd who wants to pursue economy, and Yuruka Takemoto, a swimming talent that is terrible in academics. Now, as you might expect, these 3 eventually develop romantic feelings for Noriyuki, but 2 more girls join his harem. They are Mafuyu Kirisu, a hot teacher who also is definitely the best girl in the series, and Asumi Kominami, one of his seniors. In the end, Noriyuki chooses Uruka, which left many of his fans mad, like it's a really controversial political event, because they wanted him to go for someone else. So the studio dropped an OVA where he marries every girl in his harem, and everyone sits down like a roundtable conference and declares that this should have been made the ending. However, if you're still not happy with the harem ending, you can read the manga because it has what-if stories where every girl has a route where they get married to Noriyuki. Sitting gracefully at number 7 is the quintessential quintuplets. If you've been weebing hard, then you probably have watched or at least seen this anime in your Facebook feed. Similar to the previous anime, but better, at least in my personal opinion. Feel free to have a debate Warzone in the comments. This anime tells a story of a really smart dude named Futaro Usugi who is forced to teach the 5 dumbest students in class, who are also quints, which tells us a lot because it runs in the DNA. Let's go from the worst to the best. Ichika Nakano is the oldest quint who has this ara are one-san type of personality. Some people who are into that might like her, but some of her selfish decisions in the anime make her officially the worst quint. Yotsuba Nakano is the 4th oldest quint who literally only has air in her brain. But she's actually a really kind and cheerful girl who always puts others before her. Next is Itsuki, the youngest quint, who knows she's dumb but she works the hardest to fix her dumbness. She also really loves eating, so if she's your type, then prepare to have a fat wallet to make her tummy fat. Arguably the second best quint is Nino Nakano, who's also the 2nd oldest after Ichika. She starts off super annoying and rude, but she turns into a really cute tsundere who tries her best to make Futaru happy. But the officially best quint is agreed upon by every weeb representative from each country in every corner of the world, is the 3rd oldest one, which is Miku Nakano. The girl who has the headphones as her signature look is the quiet type who, despite her shyness, was able to gather all of her courage to confess to Futaru. For the sake of your enjoyment and experience, I won't give you spoilers as to who Futaru will choose in the end, but it does end in a marriage. Arguably one of the best romance, which instantly becomes a classic, so if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and give it a try. Crossing the halfway mark, and at 6th place is Tsuki ga Kirei. Akane and Kotaro meet for the first time after being assigned in the same class for their final year of middle school. Their bond grows after they're put in charge of the equipment during the sports festival, and from there, they exchanged lines and started getting closer and closer day by day. At the same time, Takumi comes as Kotaro's competition as he's been in love with Akane since first year, and he definitely doesn't want to miss on confessing before graduation. Meanwhile, Akane's friend Chinatsu, who has a growing interest in Kotaro. The love triangle, or square, circle, the trapezoid, becomes more complex and interesting. This anime is one of the best pure romance anime that gives a satisfying conclusion many fans can enjoy. Hi Weebs, your presence is more than a blessing, and you deserve every good thing coming your way, and a girlfriend if you don't have one yet. Animechi is like Naruto, the way we keep the hits coming like a shadow clone jutsu. But here's the deal, your support is like the chakra that keeps us going strong, so why not power us up by hitting that like and subscribe button? Thank you, Pookie! Our number 5 spot rightfully belongs to Itakis. Kotoko Aihara has always been in love with Naoki Ire since the first day of school when she watched his speech at the opening ceremony. However, the gap between the two is massive to say the least. Kotoko is clumsy, troublesome, and unfortunately unintelligent. The class always categorizes its students by their intellect, and she's always been placed at class F, aka the lowest one. Meanwhile, Naoki is a certified genius. He's always scoring A's in exams, he's a very good tennis player, and he cooks like Gordon Ramsay. Not to mention his IQ is at 200, just like our favorite lazy genius Shikamaru. That's why when she sends him a love letter, she instantly gets rejected. However, it all changes when a mild earthquake destroys Kotoko's home, which leads to her family moving into her father's childhood friend's house, who coincidentally is the father of Naoki. From there on, Kotoko gets her hopes up again in pursuing Naoki as they grow close with each other under the same roof. Ultimately, the one-sided love turns into a shared love between the two as Naoki starts seeing the qualities of Kotoko that he had never seen before. Next up on the list is Inuyasha Final Act. Inuyasha is a classic anime that takes up almost every genre, from action, comedy, adventure, fantasy, shonen, and of course, romance. The romance in this anime centers around a high school student from modern-day Japan named Kagome Higurashi, who suddenly gets sucked into the Sengoku period. There, he meets Inuyasha, a half-demon from that time. The two initially push each other apart like chromium because of their different views, and the fact that she was the reincarnation of the ex-girlfriend named Kyoko, I mean, damn, bro couldn't even move on. However, the two become close as they spend more time facing adversities with each other. Inuyasha starts to show affection towards Kagome, and even gets jealous when other men talk to her. Over time, Inuyasha finally moves past his insecurities and is able to see Kagome as who she is, rather than a reincarnation of Kikyo. It's from here on where enticing events happen as the two try to work it out despite all the challenges they face. Taking up the number 3 spot is a lifelong symphony of Clannad After Story. Despite its questionable art style, the anime is another classic that revolutionized the romance genre. It tells a story about these two characters, Tomoya Okazaki and Nagisa Furukawa. Tomoya is your ordinary high school delinquent who skips class twice a week. Meanwhile, Nagisa looks like she's been hit with trauma after surviving multiple wars. Actually, I shouldn't have joked about that. I apologize. She's just returned to school after a long absence due to health issues, which is why she now becomes shy and a bit unmotivated. Seeing her for the first time, Tomoya talks to her and she opens up about how she wants to revive the drama club. Tomoya usually doesn't care about anything related to school, but for some reason he helps her out anyway. From there on, the two develop an unbreakable bond, which later on turns into love. It's so sweet how they both support each other, especially when it comes to Nagisa's health issues. This anime is one of the best dramas, so you're recommended to watch for the best full experience. At number 2, we have Mason Ikoku. Straight out of the 80s, this is another classic that beautifully combines drama, romance, and comedy. The title comes from a vital part of the story, which is a boarding house by the same name, Mason Ikoku. It's quite a good place to live, but probably not as exciting for college students, especially for Yusaku Godai, an introvert who often gets picked on by his roommates. He initially wants to move away as he's clearly uncomfortable living there, but he cancels that plan after seeing Koyoko Otanashi. She's like the combination of Margot Robbie and Angelina Jolie the way she captivates Godai with her beauty. Godai then falls in love at first sight and does whatever he can to get her attention. In short, he's a simp, or should I say, ultra simp. Because Koyoko actually has a past that many men would instantly get disgusted at and avoid her at all cost. She's a widow who recently just lost her ex-husband from a tragic accident. Not only that, she also feels that no one could ever come close to filling that empty part in her heart like her ex-husband did. Despite all this, Godai is unfazed. He wants her. Period. Godai's determination is unmatched, and Koyoko is impressed by it, slowly opening her heart that was once sealed with its key lost somewhere in the past. But it seems that Godai has found the key as he proves himself worthy of Koyoko's love. Koyoko finally realizes her feelings towards Godai, but is it enough for their love to get a happy ending? Finally taking the throne at first place is Fruits Basket. Arguably one of the best anime of all time, this anime centers around this female character, Turo, who finds herself being homeless after losing all her family members. Knowing this, the Soma family takes her in, and there she meets her love interest, Kyo. One way that I describe Kyo best is probably an aggressive cat. Those cats you see in vet clinic videos where the cat just gets angry at all the time? Yeah, that's him. He's enemies with Yuki, his cousin, and he's always losing to him in fights, which is why he works hard training martial arts. As Turu tries to break off the fight between the two, she finds herself surprised as Kyo literally turns into a cat. It turns out that the Soma family has a curse in which the members would turn into their assigned animal from the Chinese zodiac when they're touched by the opposite gender. Because of this, Kyo fears rejection and feels unworthy of love. That is until Turu helps him to realize the opposite. They both then grow closer with each other throughout the series. Kyo then learns to let go of his dark past with his family and decides to confess to Turu. Their everlasting love spans out to multiple seasons full of bittersweets that will definitely be worth your time. Well, that's a wrap, weebs. Thank you for sticking around. Tell us in the comments if you agree with this list and which anime should have made the ranks. You made it this far, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tea. See you next time.